Schoolboy snatched while washing feet. Crocodile seizes 15-year-old schoolboy while fishing in Indonesian river. Carries his body away. Horrifying footage has emerged showing the moment a crocodile grabbed a 15-year-old schoolboy by the leg and carried his lifeless body away in its jaw after attacking him on a riverbank in Indonesia. Actually, the teenager had been with a group of friends when he sat on the riverbank to wash his feet in the murky brown waters. Despite warnings from his classmates, he dipped his legs into the river, a fatal mistake. Now let's explore this gripping story in depth on the AI podcast.
Welcome, and thanks for joining us. Today, we're taking a deep dive with you into some pretty harrowing events out of Indonesia.
Yes, events that are really quite unsettling, but also, I think, give us some important insights into, well, how we interact with the natural world.
Absolutely. We've got some compelling source material here focusing on recent, quite alarming incidents. Yeah. Basically a growing, deadly conflict.
Exactly. We've looked at detailed reports of specific crocodile attacks and also what experts are warning and how local communities are responding. So our mission for this deep dive really is to get beyond just the shocking headlines and try to understand the interconnected why. What's really driving these incidents? What does it tell us about human-wildlife interaction, especially, in environments that are changing so fast?
Okay, let's try and unpack this then. Just imagine for a second you're going about your daily life, maybe doing something really mundane like washing up by a river you know well or taking a bath near home.
Things people do every day in these areas.
Exactly. And then suddenly, just like that, this primal force just completely upends everything.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much what happened in two recent cases these sources detail. Really harrowing stuff. So let's start with the first one. A truly terrifying incident involving a 15-year-old schoolboy, Muhammad Nur Akbar.
Right.
He was out fishing with his friends. This was at the Santan Ulu River in East Kalimantan. And the reports say, despite his friends actually warning him,
yeah, they told him not to.
He dipped his feet into this, murky brown water to wash them.
And what's described next is just the sheer suddenness of it. Not a slow approach, nothing like that.
Bill.
It's as suddenly a large crocodile lunged forward, sinking its teeth right into his...
God, it's awful. And then the desperation that followed.
Yeah.
His friends, terrified, obviously, rushing to pull him free.
Trying to grab his shirt.
Yeah, like you said earlier, a desperate tug of war against this reptile. But tragically, they just couldn't hold on.
They were overpowered. He was dragged
into the river, yeah.
And the rescue operation itself, it highlights how serious this was. The emergency teams, when they got there, they actually found the crocodile still with the boy's body.
Still holding him.
Yeah. Moving upstream. According to Fida Hurasani from the local fire and rescue department, they eventually had to shoot the crocodile.
Wow.
To make it release the boy's leg. Muhammad's body was recovered much later that night, around 11:50 p.m. local time. The reports mention horrific, severe injuries.
Just devastating. And the impact locally was, immediate, wasn't it?
Oh, definitely.
The village head, Harry Budianto, he pointed out the last fatal attack there was way back in 2015. So this was a real shock.
Significant gap, yeah.
And the response. Officials banned fishing in that river straight away.
Makes sense.
But here's where it gets, I think, really interesting and quite disturbing. This wasn't just a one-off, was it?
No, sadly not. That's the pattern the sources reveal. Just before Muhammad's attack, end of June 30th, there was another fatal incident. This time involving an elderly man, an 80-year-old grandfather named Wasim.
And what happened there? Similar circumstances.
Similar, but also different. He was bathing in the Samaka River. This was in Lampung. Again, a sudden attack by reportedly a 10-foot crocodile pulled underwater.
Okay.
But in this case, the intervention was different. Villagers found his clothes first, then they actually spotted the croc carrying his body.
Oh my God.
And the reports say they courageously chased the beast with sticks, hitting it until it finally let go.
Incredible bravery from the villagers. But was it too late?
Unfortunately, yes. Wasim was also found lifeless, severe wounds, particularly on his back and shoulders.
So tragic. And the police response?
Urging caution, basically. Telling residents to be extremely careful near rivers, calling for more awareness, the standard warnings, but clearly something deeper is going on.
Yeah, it feels like more than just tragic accidents.
Well, exactly. And if you connect this to the bigger picture, Indonesia is a hotspot for crocodiles. 14 different species.
14. Wow.
Yeah, and that includes a really significant population of these highly aggressive estuarine crocodiles, sometimes called saltwater crocodiles. They thrive in warm climates, and they're incredibly adaptable, comfortable in freshwater rivers far inland just as much as coastal areas. They're also, generally considered the largest and potentially most dangerous.
Right. So they're naturally present.
Yeah.
But the question is, like you said, why this apparent increase in attacks now? What's changed?
That's the crucial question the sources really dig into. And the finger points pretty directly towards, us, human activity.
Encroachment on their habitats.
Yes, but it's more specific than just general development, according to the conservationists cited. They're warning about things like habitat loss, sure, but also overfishing.
Okay.
And significantly widespread tin mining. This seems to be a major factor.
Tin mining, how does that connect?
Well, the type of tin mining often practiced there, particularly open pit dredging in or near rivers, it fundamentally alters the ecosystem. It doesn't just pollute the water.
It physically changes the river.
Yeah, exactly. It destroys the riverbed habitats where the crocodile's natural prey, like fish, live and breed. So you're basically wiping out their primary food sources in their usual hunting grounds.
Ah, okay. So it's not just that people are moving closer to the crocs. The crocs are being actively pushed towards people because their food is disappearing elsewhere.
Precisely. They're being forced closer to villages, closer to areas where humans are active, simply because that's where any remaining potential food might be or where the environment hasn't been as severely disrupted yet.
And that intersects with the fact that, as you mentioned, people in many of these areas rely on the rivers.
Absolutely, for essential daily activities. Bathing, washing clothes, fishing for their own food. It's not recreational. It's often necessity.
So you've got this dangerous mix. Traditional human life meeting displaced, hungry, powerful predators.
That's the confluence of factors the sources really highlight. It's this intersection driven by habitat destruction and resource extraction, often linked to mining, that seems to be leading directly to this rise in tragic attacks.
And while authorities are, putting up warnings and banning activity.
Which is necessary for immediate safety.
Right, but it doesn't solve the underlying problem, does it? It's a really complex challenge.
It really is. You're asking people to change deeply ingrained practices, sometimes essential ones, because an external pressure, like mining, has altered the environment.
So when we step back and look at what this deep dive into the material shows us, it's a pretty stark picture, isn't it? Human development, environmental impact.
Yeah, and the devastating consequences, particularly for vulnerable communities caught in the middle.
It's such a powerful reminder that actions, even things like resource extraction that might seem distant to some of us.
Like tin mining for consumer electronics, for example.
Right. Those actions can have these incredibly direct and sometimes fatal ripple effects on daily life and safety halfway around the world.
It really brings the interconnectedness of it all into sharp focus. Which leads us, I think, to a final thought we wanted to leave you with. In this world where, let's face it, human expansion and our need for resources are constantly pushing into natural habitats, what kind of truly sustainable solutions can we even look for?
Especially solutions that protect both human lives and the ecosystems we depend on.
Exactly. And critically, how do we do that when people's traditional livelihoods, their ways of surviving, are tied directly to those very ecosystems that are now becoming more dangerous?
That's the really difficult question, isn't it? Something definitely for you to think about.
Should wildlife authorities take stronger action, such as relocating or culling dangerous crocodiles near human settlements? Don't forget to comment it. Thanks.